Well, hello again, third time today, but something I've got to tell you about. And it's just come to my notice, and I thought, I've got to tell you, I've got to tell my listeners. And it's, did you know the British Navy, yes, our armed forces on the seas, our British Navy relies on French steel? Yes. The shocking facts are that UK cannot make steel utilised in making our own Navy ships, and we have to go to the French. The government has been urged to back Britain's steel industry for defence after revealing how reliant the Royal Navy is on materials from abroad. Pressure hulls of the new Dreadnought class submarines, which will carry the Britain's Trident nuclear missiles, are being built using French steel. As the Defence Minister said, there are no UK suppliers of specialist steel that's required to build the ships, the submarines. A government spokesman also confirmed the Navy's two 65,000-ton aircraft carriers, commissioned in 2017 and 2019, were the last warships to be made primarily of British steel. 88% it was British steel, but they were the last ones because we can't do it anymore. Why? Well, we sold our steel to the Chinese, didn't we? And they were about to close us down. The government spent some money. Well, they've done. They spent 100 million so far in keeping it open. We should not have been selling our industries, our essential industries, for our own infrastructure and our defence. Selling it to the Chinese doesn't make sense. Selling Tata Steel, our other steel industry, to the Indians. There you are, Indians, you have our steel. There you are, Chinese, have our steel. It's leaving us vulnerable. Very, very vulnerable. So he's explaining that this is the government spokesman, he's explaining the type of steel required for smaller vessels. It cannot be reliably sourced in the UK, she said. It comes weeks after the government stopped to rescue British steel in Scunthorpe, as I just mentioned, with 100 million. Shadow Defence Secretary James Cartledge said the government must back Britain at a critical time for our national security. Well, yes. It's a bit late saying it now, isn't it? He told the Express it's important that defence supports a British supply chain as far as possible, and in government we ensured that around 50% of the steel in our Type 26 frigates by value was British. So he's boasting. The Conservatives, when they're in government, we use 50% of British steel. 100% is what I'm looking for, I've got to tell you. Not 50%, not half, and we have to rely on the French for the other half. What are we doing? What are we doing? Selling off our infrastructures, selling off our self-reliance. Of course, these cutting-edge anti-submarine warships are manufactured in Scotland, supporting the large number of skilled jobs, and so a top priority for the government must be to back the British defence industry, particularly with war in Europe and our nation facing heightened threats. That's what James Clattenidge had to say. Unfortunately, he continues, Labour has hit our defence industry with a £600 million increase in national insurance, and procurement is largely on hold while we keep waiting for a long-promised strategic defence review. Roy Vickers. Now, Roy Vickers is the General Secretary of the Steel Union community. He told the Express it's incredibly disappointing. It's incredibly disappointing to see steel being sourced from overseas. Now that's the General Secretary of the Steel Union, and he thinks it's incredibly disappointing. He should have been up in arms. His union should have been up in arms. We should have been told, as the public, that our ability to defend ourselves relies on French steel. He said, this is Rick Ruckus, the General Secretary of the Steel Union, he said this just highlights the need for government action to mandate or to incentivise the use of UK-made steel for defence, energy and related infrastructure projects. For too long now in the UK, we have not taken the robust stance required when it comes to public procurement, and our steel producers have suffered as a result. The lack of availability of specialised grades of steel plate needed for some defence contracts also highlights the need for investment in modern plate mill. Upgrading the existing plate mill at Dazzle in Motherwell should be a priority. Yes, it should. And not only that place either. Miss Eagle, she's the Defence Government Minister, as I mentioned earlier, said steel for the submarines is sourced by our prime contractors from a range of the UK and international suppliers. She said that while no UK supplied steel is used in the construction of pressurised hulls, I'll repeat that, she admits no UK supplied steel is used in the construction of the submarines that are going to carry our Trident missiles, our nuclear defence. So she said there's no UK supplied steel to be used in the construction of pressurised hulls. Materials used elsewhere in the boats are from suppliers which include a number of British firms. So in the hulls we have to rely on the French, but we do other bits of metal in our submarines, so it's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not, Miss Eagle. Regarding steel for the Navy's surface fleet, she said the amounts of thin plate steel required for shipbuilding cannot currently be reliably sourced in the UK. Let's go through that again. The steel used for the Navy's ships that sail up, not the submarines now, on the surface fleet, as she puts it. The amount of thin plate steel required for shipbuilding cannot be supplied reliably from the UK. We're just not making our own steel to make our ships. We can't defend ourselves. We can't defend our waters. The sourcing of steel is a matter for our prime contractors. Nevertheless, we encourage them to source UK steel wherever it is technically and commercially feasible. Well, she just said it can't be resourced reliably, and then she says we encourage them to source it. The Minister confirmed that the use of British-made steel in defence will be reviewed. Maria Eagles, the Defence Minister, said contractors for projects are asked to give consideration to contracting for the supply of British steel where possible. But she's already said it's not possible. It's unreliable. We cannot have a navy that relies on unreliable sources. Doesn't that make sense? Work is underway on how we should make more use of British steel sector, and as a part of our defence industrial strategy and steel strategy, we will ensure a strong defence sector and resilient supply chain, including steel across the whole of the UK. Well, we've got to start making it. We've got to make it. We're not making it anymore. Now, this is a little, we're doing well. We've already seen progress with the Trinity House Agreement, paving the way for the UK to manufacture artillery gun barrels for the first time in 10 years, using steel produced by Sheffield Forge Masters. That's okay, we can make the guns. We've just got nothing to put them on, because we've got to rely on the French to supply the steel. Our national defence is at risk. British steel has got to be British steel, not imported from France and Germany and wherever else are trying to get it from. Not sell our steel manufacturing in Britain to the Chinese and to the Indians. We've got to source our own. We've got to create our own. Birmingham, where I was born, was known as a city of 1,001 trades because we could do anything. We manufactured everything. We exported everywhere. People relied on our steel products, and now we sold it off. The mines, the coal mines, were closed down in the 80s by Maggie Thatcher. They were closed down. There were reasons, okay, but short-sightedness. We needed our coal. Now we've got it again with Ed Miliband stopping the drilling for oil and gas in the North Sea. It's short-sightedness. We need our own energy supplies. We need our own steel manufacturing supplies. What is going on? We're selling Britain down the river. We're selling them. No, I'm going to stop. I've told you what it's all about now. So your comments, please. Give us your comments. Do not neglect to give me your comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because it doesn't cost you a penny, doesn't cost you a cent, doesn't even cost you a rupee, totally free. So why not press that subscribe button? And it encourages me to do some more research and come back to you with news that you're not getting. I'm sure you're not getting it until I do my research and find it. So until the next one, and this is the third one, so you never know if I'll be back again. Have a good life, be safe, be good, and goodbye from DJ. Bye.